In this example, what we're going to be doing is linking worksheets together, just as we have in some of the other videos that you've maybe already watched. But the difference here is going to be that each of the sheets that we're going to be linking are going to be in different files. So we're going to have, in this situation, we're going to have three different files where there's a sheet of information, and we're going to take those three and link them into a fourth sheet on a fourth file. So we're going to use that kind of like as a master. The big difference here that we're doing now is the fact that we're working with multiple files, and in the past we've just done it by way of one single workbook, multiple sheets, such as, you know, maybe quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we've linked those 4 into like a fifth sheet, this consolidation sheet. So we still have everything separate, but we can still look at that consolidation sheet to see what all 4 quarters in that case did as a whole. So the way you set out to do this is that you get all of your files open. So you'll open up, in our case, we'll open up the 3 data files that represent 3 different cities that we sell our services into. And then we'll have this fourth file open. They'll have the same design and all to it, but where we're going to set up some formulas to bring that data from those other 3 files into this fourth one. Okay, so the key would be to open up all of these files. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to start out first of all with the one here called Hana. So we'll get that one open first. And then we're going to go ahead and open up the second one here. And this is going to be the Kahului. And then we'll open up our third one, which is Lahaina. And then we'll open up the final one. Now this is going to be the one that's going to act as the master, as the consolidation sheet. And that is going to open up pretty soon here. All right, slow day, I guess. All right, so what we're looking at here then will be, you know, 3 other sheets that we're going to be pulling information from. It's going to be the same, you know, reps, same product categories and all that. It's just going to be that each of these reps are selling into basically 3 different territories, and we want to kind of consolidate all that together. Now, to start this whole process off, what we're going to do is I'm going to put my first formula into the chip longboard area. So go ahead, I'm going to hit the equal. So this formula is not going to be any different than we had, I think, on the previous video as far as how it's constructed. We're just going to be referencing a file, a sheet within that file, and a specific cell. So in this case, we do this, and then what we'll do is we'll go down to our taskbar down at the bottom there, and you'll have the 4 files that we've got open right now. The one at the end is the one we've got open right now that we're looking at, and you can kind of see that because it's got a little bit lighter background to it. So I'm going to start from the left. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Hana one here, and what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead, and I'm already on the sheet, so all I have to do is just click on to the cell that I want, you know, for the chip longboard. So I'm taking chip longboards for the city of Hana, all right, and there we have it up there, and now we're going to hit our plus. Now notice also when I went to reference this particular sheet and file and cell, that it shows up here the file name, then we have the sheet name, and then we have the cell address, and I put my plus in there. Now I'm going to go back down to my clump of Excel, And I'm going to go to the second one, which is this one here, and this is going to be in Kahului. Again, I'm already at the sheet now. I just click on to the cell address. There it is. All right. And then I hit my plus again. Go back down to the bottom. Go back to my Excel. And I'll go with my third one here. And that's going to be Lahaina. And then I'll just go ahead and click on to that cell address. And that's it. Now, one other thing that you might not have noticed here is that every time I clicked on to one of the cell addresses, it came up absolute. This happens anytime that you reference a cell when you're doing a formula, and you reference a cell that's on a different file. It will always make that absolute for some reason. I don't know why, it just does it. So what we need to do is get rid of the absolute. Very easy. We just go click anywhere on the cell, reference there. Hit the F4 key a few times, and eventually you'll see it all go away except for the cell address, and that's what you want to do as far as, get rid of all of those dollar symbols. Then we do the same thing on the second one here. I click onto that, hit F4 a few times, and now that's gone. Now, because this formula is kind of long, it took up a second line, I'm just going to go over here and hit my little drop-down arrow. I can then click onto here, hit the F4 key a few times, just like that, and then I can pull that back up. I don't need that anymore. And now once I've done that, I'll go ahead and hit my Enter key, and voila. So there it is. So if I click onto that cell, it shows the formula. So you're not used to seeing formulas like this where they have actual file names and sheet names in them sometimes, but this is probably the ultimate. Now you can imagine if you had a file that was out there on your network that was 4, 5, 10, 15 folders deep, that would make for a pretty long formula for each of these. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy this formula all the way across, just like that, and then we'll copy it all the way down, just like that, and there it is. So that's it. That's all we really have to do. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to close all this up. So we're going to save it and close it up here. So I'm just going to go and hit the X up here at the top. I'm going to say yes, or say I want to save it, and then I'll close up the other ones as well. Okay, and that's it. So now here's what happens. The next time that you open up that consolidation, that master file, this is what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to open it up. All right. Now on there, it has on here that you have links in here, which we do. And it's kind of a security warning because this could be a potential problem if this was something that you knew nothing about. Somebody handed you a file, said, here, open it up, because it could bring in viruses and things like that. But I don't think you really need to worry here, only because it's your stuff. All right, anyway, so we're going to say enable the content, just like that, and that's it. So if there were any changes that were made to those other three files, those changes will have now been updated here in our data. We didn't have any changes, but you wouldn't have known that, but there it is. There it is all in place there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close this up again. It's going to ask me if I want to save my changes. Sure. So I'll save it there. There we go. Now, I'm going to show you a situation that you're going to run into if you were to maybe rename a file that you're linked to, if you were to move it, what have you. I mean, there's a lot of different things can happen. I want to show you one of them, and that would be, let's say that one of your files got renamed. So let's just say that you renamed that Hana, the city of Hana file, And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off the number 1 of it, because it was actually, it said City of Hana 1 was the file name. So what I'm going to do is that bugs me that it has the 1 after it, but I've already established the linking and everything. So when I go and I change the name and I get rid of the 1 after the Hana, what's going to happen is that the next time that I open then the consolidation worksheet, that is going to give me an error telling me that it can't find the link. Well, you'll see as we do it here. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to go ahead in here, and you can't see me doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and change the file name on the Hana 1 just to be Hana. All right, so that's what I've just done. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the consolidation file. All right. Now you're going to get the little message that this workbook contains links to more than 1 external files, which could be unsafe and all that stuff. Right. So, do you trust the links? Sure. So we're going to tell it to go ahead and update. So this was the same thing that we saw along the top here. Now it's down here now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit update, and there it goes. Now, it does as much as it can, but then now it says, wait a minute, I can't update some of the links because, in your workbook, and it says something in fact that, you can continue without updating their values, or you can add the links. Well, so at this point, what it's really saying is that you can just hit continue and go on your merry way, knowing that there's something wrong, or you can kind of face the problem and say, okay, let's fix this. So we'll go over here to the edit links. A little window pops up, and it shows that our Hana file is not performing properly, obviously because it can't find the Hana 1 file because I renamed it just to Hana. So now you did that, so we click onto that, all right, and we tell it that we need to change the source, this one right here. So I click onto that, all right, and then what I'm going to do is go and find the file and click onto it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'll go to my desktop here, and I've got the folder I have the files into it. Here's the file. So what I'm going to do now is click onto the file. There we go. Hit OK, and it's up there, and you can see it changed in the background, and everything's all copacetic. So you hit close, we're set. That's it. I go ahead and I'll close this up now. I'll definitely save it, and now we are. That's it. So now everything's all copacetic. If any changes are made to those other 3 files, including the Hana, the next time I open up the file, the consolidation file, it'll be perfect. So that's pretty neat. All right. Now, some of you might run into situations where you have maybe you go to open up that master file that you have your links to, and it gives you that message that the links are missing. One of the links are missing, and you go out there and you try to find it, and you can't find the file. It's just gone. Or maybe it's always been like that. You've gotten that message every time that you've opened up the spreadsheet. You've been putting your own data into it. You're not even worried about any links anymore. You've just been kind of changing it on your own. How do you get rid of that message? How do you just kind of break those links off? You don't have that message any longer, and kind of go from there. Okay, let me show you. What you'll do is you'll open up the file, the consolidation file. I'm just going to say update here for now. All right, so let's just say have those little messages and all that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the data tab. You're going to notice that we have the edit links. We'll click onto that. And you go over here to where it says break link. It doesn't matter which one you're on here. You hit break link. hit break links again, and bingo, it's gone. We hit close, and now you'll notice that on every one of these cells where you normally would have the formulas in there, now it's nothing. So now you can just continue on your merry way, filling in the worksheet just with your own numbers and just kind of go from there. So hopefully this helps as far as understanding how you go about linking sheets that are actually in different files together. So hopefully you enjoy the video. Take care.